Howdy YouTube, today we're taking a look at the Jakks UFC Andrei Arlovski. Probably my favourite fighter in the heavyweight division at the moment. Andrei Arlovski, for those who haven't been following, is on an absolute roll at the moment. He had a really poor comeback effort against Brendan Schaub and then demoralised Bigfoot Silva. And then a lot of people still doubted him, and going into the Travis Browne fight, for those who haven't seen UFC 187, probably skip the video a little bit, but Andrei Arlovski absolutely smashed Travis Browne in a fantastic fight, a really exciting first round fight. So I thought I'd give you guys a review on the Arlovski figure from Jakks. Really excited. I think it's interesting that he's actually got a different body to the other heavyweight figures, much slimmer, a lot more lean. He is, from his appearance at UFC 47 there, which is a bit of a shame. I would have thought they would have had him from UFC, say, 51 onwards, where he was the heavyweight champion, beating people like Paul Blantello, and I'm just trying to think who else he versed. The name will come to me. It will come to me. Tim Sylvia, the maniac Tim Sylvia. That's right. He versed him twice from memory. The first time, and one of the reasons I really liked Arlovski at the time, he knocks him down with a big punch and then finishes him with a submission, a leg submission. I thought that was really impressive. And then he ended up losing the title around UFC 59 to Tim Sylvia. And then basically went on a losing streak. Now he's made a comeback. He's starting to really kick butt. Hopefully he gets a title shot. I'd love to see him against Cain Velasquez or Junior Dos Santos. I think that'd be very exciting. Or Fabricio Verdum, although my hopes aren't too high for him. Interesting there at the bottom, there is a nice shot of Andrei Arlovski without the facial hair. This is pretty much his most iconic look. Again, I'm not a big fan of when they have figures with the open mouth, but given Arlovski's trademark pit bull mouth guard, I think it's acceptable in this case. So really cool, very excited to get this guy opened up and out of packaging. And here we have the back of the packaging. What's interesting is I think they've actually got it the wrong way around. Some of the sponsors that are on the front here, I think are actually on the back. But really cool, from Belarus, Russia. Really one of my favorites. I think he's just got great striking, great kicking. And it's a shame Jakks actually still don't make UFC figures. There are so many, whether it be Gonzaga or Crow Cop, in the heavyweights that is, that we never ended up getting figures for. And I think it's a real shame because they were doing such a good job. Obviously, other figures in the wave: Anderson Silva, Forrest Griffin, Arlovski, Diego Sanchez. The Nogueira figure from Pride is awesome. I can't wait to review that for you guys. And then, of course, BJ Penn. He's a tall guy at 6'4", and one of the lighter heavyweights at 240 pounds. Take someone like Brock Lesnar, who was right up at 265. So you can see, obviously, a lot leaner, which I guess is why they've got the thinner body type. So let's get Andrei Arlovski opened up and out of packaging. Okay, and here we have Arlovski opened up and out of packaging, and he looks really cool. Just before I get into the detail, I think it's interesting that what's actually on the trunks is pretty different to, actually completely different to what's on the actual figure. So I guess that must be an early prototype shot. But let's bring it forward so you guys can take a look at the Pitbull. Nice, aggressive face there. I like that they've got the facial hair, and then they've sort of got the fuzz coming up there. I think that's a really nice addition that we don't get on a lot of the UFC figures, which is pretty cool. I really like it. I'm not sure I'm a fan of the slimmer body. That's one thing that does bother me a little bit about this guy. I really would have liked it had they given him a proper heavyweight build, and I'll bring in some heavyweight figures just to compare with. But moving down, you can see obviously he's got the UFC gloves. I believe around 2008, 2009, he left for Strikeforce, where he had a bit of a losing streak. And then really since 2013, he's just come on absolute form, winning quite a lot of big matches. You can see, obviously, the chunks at the back there, and then moving down with the tape on the feet. So pretty cool. He's got your standard UFC articulation, which is ball-jointed head. He's got the arm swivel, which I think is really cool. Ball jointed elbows, swivel in the bicep, bend at the elbow, ball jointed wrists, the ab crunch, swivel waist, ball jointed legs, swivel in the thigh, double bend at the knee, and then swivel and up and down on the ankle. So pretty much awesome range of articulation, which I love on all the UFC figures, just because you can get them into a lot of MMA type poses. So I think Jakks did an exceptional job with that. Now, just for comparison, I've got Arlovski here with Frank Mir. You can see, obviously, a much slender heavyweight. And now that actually I put the two together, it doesn't bother me as much that he's got the light heavyweight type body, because he is a lot leaner than most of the guys out there. It did really bother me, but having, on closer inspection, it's actually very accurate. And I think it does a really good job and really good justice for Arlovski. One thing that really interests me is why the heavyweight figures have the belly button and all the other ones don't. I was never too sure of that. Same with the nipples on the light heavyweight compared to the heavyweight. So subtle differences. I don't really know why. Either way, still really great figures. I'm a big fan of this Arlovski. I think absolutely, if you're a heavyweight fan and you're a UFC fan, just given what he's achieved and the sort of dynamic fighter that he is, and now that he's on a comeback, I think it's well worth picking up. One of the matches that we never got to see was Frank Mir, who was the champion and then was stripped of the belt after his motorcycle accident, go against Arlovski. I think that would have been an epic match, a really, really exciting fight to see. Hopefully Arlovski keeps going, he keeps winning, gets a shot at the championship. I'd love to see this guy fight for the heavyweight title again. I think it'd make a very exciting fight. Certainly at the moment, the heavyweight division is really stacked. Lots of great competitors in there. They've been putting on some of the best fights of the UFC, at least this year, that's for sure. If you're a fan of Arlovski, the best way to get this guy is probably through eBay. I actually got him through Amazon along with Czech Congo. I was able to pick them both up for around the $40 mark landed, which is really awesome. But on eBay, you're probably going to have to shop around. Hopefully you can get him for cheap, although some sellers are starting to sell UFC figures for a ridiculous amount of money. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this review on the Jakks UFC Series 7, Andrei Arlovski.